If you bury negative feedback in your reports, you are not just ignoring a problem. You are signing the death warrant for future innovation. You are treating the most valuable, real-time product roadmap guidance you could possibly receive like office trash. Most customer success teams view a complaint as a crisis management task, a fire drill to be contained and hoped away. But the companies that survive, thrive, and actually lead their markets, they view brutal honesty as a precious, unsolicited consulting service. They see the grudge not as an attack, but as a highly qualified investor pointing out exactly where the product, or the service, is failing to meet reality. The prevailing fear in CS is the cancellation notice. We train our teams to treat every negative interaction like a bomb ticking down on retention rates. So, when a customer screams about latency or complexity, the immediate reaction is defense. We are trying. Our usage metrics show they are achieving value. This is the dangerous cognitive bias. You are mistaking compliance for growth. Compliance is keeping the lights on. Growth is figuring out why those lights are flickering and making the customer angry in the first place. The successful shift is moving from being a firefighter for retention to becoming an anthropologist of the customer journey. So how do you unlock the gold? You stop viewing feedback through the lens of was our product good, and start viewing it through the lens of what assumption did we make that proved wrong in the real world. The complaint isn't about a bug, it's usually about friction. It's the collision between your idealized vision of the product and the messy, complex reality of how a human being tries to use it at 2 a.m. on a Friday. Your product might be brilliant in theory, but if the execution requires tribal knowledge or a degree in theoretical computer science to operate, it has failed its primary job: ease of use. Consider a SaaS company whose churn rate was mysteriously high. Management blamed market saturation or competitive pricing. The CS team, however, kept hearing the same complaint. It takes 3 clicks to do what should take 1. Management heard pricing issue. The CS team understood. This is a cognitive load problem. Our onboarding sequence assumes fluency, but the user base is drowning in complexity. The complaint wasn't about the price. It was a symptom of inefficiency. Fixing the interface friction, not lowering the price point, is how you deliver exponential value and silence the grudge. This brings us to the critical dividing line, the difference between listening and internalizing. Listening is gathering data. Internalizing means you, the company, are willing to accept that your initial premise was flawed. If a customer says this feature doesn't solve my core problem, the easy defensive response is to say, but it solves X, Y, and Z. A mature response is, you are absolutely right. We misunderstood the scope of your problem. Tell us what it needs to solve. That transition, from defending the current product to co-creating the necessary future state, is where your retention team becomes a growth driver. But this process is dangerous. If your frontline team absorbs the complaint and simply dumps it into a monolithic feature request backlog, you are doing them all wrong. You're not being helpful. You're creating an echo chamber of unmet expectations. The backlog becomes a graveyard of brilliant, painful insights that never see the light of day because they are buried under the noise of nice-to-haves. You must elevate these complaints. They need to be translated into problem statements, prioritized against revenue impact, and given a timeline, even if that timeline is phase 2. So what is the actionable tactical step you can take this week? Stop routing all complaints to product. You need a dedicated, high-leverage feedback loop. This means empowering your CS team to act as a mini-product management unit for their assigned accounts. When a complaint comes in, they shouldn't just log the bug. They should document the workflow failure. They need to answer, what part of our process caused this pain, and how can we fix it in the next sprint? This shifts the culture from complaint containment to joint problem solving. And this goes deeper than software. Think about implementation, integration, and training gaps. Often the complaint isn't the product is bad. It's we were promised this would integrate seamlessly with our legacy system, and it doesn't. The complaint is a symptom of an execution failure on the promises made during the sales cycle. Your CS team needs the institutional memory and authority to flag those misalignments before the bomb drops on your renewal date. If you want one more hot take on the subject of negative feedback, stop obsessing over NPS. NPS is a measurement of loyalty after the transaction is complete. It's backward-looking and often biased by a single moment of frustration. Your true predictor of renewal is the volume, specificity, and urgency of the actionable feedback you receive while the customer is actively using your product. Treat that ongoing conversation like a living document, not a quarterly compliance check. The ultimate goal isn't simply to survive the complaint. The ultimate goal is to use it as rocket fuel. It's about turning that visceral negative energy, that grudge, into a shared journey. It's about saying to the customer, "We heard you. Not only did we hear you, but your pain point is now driving our next development sprint." When you do that, the complaint transforms from a hostile cancellation notice into an indispensable partnership checkpoint. It moves you from vendor to vital extension of their team. So here is the challenge for you this week. Next time a customer raises a complaint, resist the urge to fix it immediately. Instead, pause and ask, if this problem were my own business problem, what would I have done differently? And then, tell us in the comments below, what is one complaint you recently received that completely changed your product roadmap? Let's build this library of gold together. Your action plan. 1. View complaints as product roadmaps. 2. Find root friction, not just symptoms. 3. Co-create solutions with users.